Hello ladies and gentlemen, Jerry here with Cole Banker, my Facebook page, Ask the Real Estate Professional. And today I'm going to be doing part 3 of the 3 most important questions to ask your realtor. So the question for today is, what is your commission or what is your fee that you're charging? And what services do I get for that fee? And we're just going to jump right in. So what is the commission that your realtor is going to choose, and what services are you going to get for that fee? In today's video, I'd like to try to focus on the explanation of the services that are provided, and anytime you sit down with your realtor, you should keep this in mind. Very often, people become disenfranchised with their realtor or the particular company that they've hired to sell their home, mainly because they didn't have an understanding for the services that were going to be provided by that realtor. I'm going to talk today about the full service model, which in my case is 5% of the agreed purchase price is my fee. And you're going to say, your question should be, why is it 5%? Why does that fee seem to be perpetuated through the entire market? And what am I getting for that fee? So let's talk about why 5% seems to exist in a lot of the full service models that are out there. The primary reason is, and I don't think a lot of agents even fully understand this themselves, but in my opinion, it's adaptation. When we charge a percentage of the purchase price, it allows for flexibility in changes in the market climate. If you are going to choose a flat fee, or if a particular agent is going to represent themselves as a flat fee service, as home prices or as market conditions change, and list to sale durations increase, then typically advertising costs increase as homes become more challenging to sell. As homes become less challenging to sell, we see more flat fee systems seem to float to the surface there. And markets naturally change, and they go through cyclical patterns, and in a lot of cases this has a tendency to kill off flat fee systems that are not as flexible in changes based versus the commission-based structure. That's why it kind of seems to exist in a lot of the full service models. But in addition to that, the commission-based structure allows for an acceptable margin for a person to assume the risk-reward scenario of selling a person's home, and it'd be lucrative enough for people to sell homes and make a living and actually continue in the business. So let me just touch on risk versus reward for a second. As you go to work 9 to 5, you are guaranteed your pay. You may be an hourly waged person, or you may have a salary. But realtors don't have a salary. They're paid only on commission and only when properties sell. So they assume a lot of risk. And they don't just assume the risk of not being paid. They assume the cost associated with advertising. And so even though I haven't talked about any numbers or any service yet, it's important to understand that this is a business that is run, and that it is the exact opposite of your normal 9 to 5 occupation. Rather than you actually being guaranteed, you work, you get paid, it's going to say you work, you're not going to get paid, and you actually have to pay us to come to work. You pay your brokerage, you pay licensing fees, you pay franchise fees, you pay office fees, you pay licensing fees, you pay advertising costs. And so there has to be significant enough of a reward to substantiate that. Not to mention the time it takes to educate oneself, gain experience in the business, culminate a system that you can then apply to selling people's homes and add value in that sense. So it's important to understand the risk that's involved there, and that increases the cost associated with the business outside of the actual expenses of advertising or incentivizing other agents. So let's take the 5%. The way it works is that 50% in most cases, or 2.5% of the agreed sale price, goes to incentivize realtors to show your property, realtors with buyers. This is a huge, huge part of that commission. It's very, very important. You will see as the commission that's used to incentivize those realtors is lowered, a lot less activity occurs for your home. Obviously, this depends upon the current market you're in and the current product you're selling, but by and large, that's the case. You will even see across all different fee structures and companies that as a home stays in the market for longer, the incentive that's paid to the realtor to represent the buyer is typically increased. Now, as the listing agent, you are paying me the other 2.5%, and that fee is broken down in a bunch of different ways. Obviously, it's paid as a gross. Let's just say 2.5% of 300,000 takes us to 7,500 plus HST. You are typically going to have between 15 and 40% of that number is going to go to the brokerage of the agent that you're hiring. So may it be Coldwell Banker or Remax or Home Life or whatever it might be. That fee is used for advertising of the actual brokerage, maintaining their office space, admin, so on and so forth. Outside of that fee, a portion of the gross pay obviously needs to go to that agent paying income tax and HST. So we still haven't gotten to any of the services that are provided by your agent, any of the actual hard costs associated with their advertising, and we've already seen why this number can balloon. We have to incentivize the agents. We have to make it valuable to develop the service and experience and systems, and we have to be able to absorb these other additional expenses that are, I guess, soft. Now we move into the hard expenses, which is where you're primarily interested as a vendor. Where is my property going to be advertised? How often is it going to be advertised? How is it being advertised? And what feedback can I expect from the advertising so I can interpret the activity that's ongoing? Your agent should be recording all activity that goes on with your property, and then there should be a system in place to provide transparency so that you can see that ongoing activity. May it be inquiries from agents or solicitations from private citizens, or may it be calls on print ads, or inquiries through internet services, or whatever it might be. So you are able to see what's actually happening in regard to the marketing. And this comes back to the value that's provided by a system that you're paying for that's on the soft side of the expenses. So what is your fee? 5%. What services can I expect for that fee? You understand the underlying costs that are associated with the business now. What services should you expect? You should expect your agent to provide you with research to be able to accurately represent a list price for your home. You should expect your agent to be accessible and to be able to follow up with them, or they provide transparency to you with regard to all ongoing activity. You should expect your agent to outline to you a list of advertising mediums that are going to be utilized and why. How are we targeting different markets depending upon your particular product? How do you negotiate on my behalf, or what's your particular tactics? They should be expressing to you what experience and expertise and systems that they bring to the table. And in addition, they should be able to explain to you what system they have in place for organizing the transaction from start to finish. Preparation, due diligence, organization, negotiation, and then facilitation of the transaction to closing. So you really should have, especially for the money that you're paying for the promotion and advertising of your home, you should have an expectation, a pretty high expectation, from your agent to be able to outline all these things so you have a complete understanding of how that particular representative works. So, I guess that's my answer. Long-winded, yes, but what is your service fee? What services can I expect? And I guess in addition to that, I think a more thorough understanding of where that fee actually comes from and why it exists. Anyway, guys, that's my 3 videos on the 3 most important questions to ask your realtor. Thank you so much for watching, and please tune in to watch some more videos. Cheers.